Hello, hey everyone. And I tell you, all these ancestors got these realms on locked. Got it on lock, y'all. This new full moon coming. Make sure y'all projecting as much positivity into the universe as possible. Chain on backwards. So, I know I've been going a while. Been real busy. Real busy. So I'm going to start from April 18th. Might have skipped like a day, but I was studying, so I'm going to be reading the book of Genesis. My pastor dared me to read it, and once I made a covenant with God that I will never keep any good thing away from his sheep. So I'm going to be starting at April 18th, 2023 in real time. The title is One Call Away. Now, Genesis has 50 books. I only got up to 4, and then I stopped at verse 15 and 4. So it was getting, a little juicy, but it's getting late. All right. When God began creating the heavens and the earth was at first a shapeless, chaotic mass with the Spirit of God brooding over the dark vapors. Then God said, "Let there be light," and light appeared. And God was pleased with it and divided the light from the darkness. So he let it shine for a while. And then there was darkness again. He called the light daytime and the darkness nighttime. Together they formed the first day. And God said, "Let the vapors separate to form the sky above and the oceans below." So God made the sky, dividing the vapor above from the water below. This all happened on the second day. Then God said, "Let the water beneath the sky be gathered into oceans, so that the dry land will emerge." And so it was. Then God named the dry land earth, and the water seas. And God was pleased, and he said, "Let the earth burst forth with every sort of grass and seed, bearing plant and fruit trees with seeds inside the fruit, so that these seeds will produce the kinds of plants and fruits they came from." And so it was, and God was pleased. This all occurred on the third day. Then God said, "Let there be bright lights in the sky to give light to the earth and to identify the day and the night. They shall bring about the seasons on the earth and mark the days and years." And so it was. For God made 2 huge lights, the sun and the moon, to shine down upon the earth. The larger one, the sun, to preside over the day, and the smaller one, the moon, to preside through the night. He also made the stars, and God set them in the sky to be light to the earth, and to preside over the day and night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God was pleased. This all happened on the 4th day. Okay. I have to stretch my legs out. I'm getting old. I'll be 47 soon. All right. Then God said, "Let the waters teem with fish and other life and let the skies be filled with birds of every kind. So God created great sea creatures and every sort of fish and every kind of bird. And God looked at them with pleasure and blessed them all. Multiply and stock the oceans, he told them. And to the birds he said, let your numbers increase. Fill the earth. That ended the 5th day. And God said, let the earth bring forth every kind of animal, cattle and reptiles and wildlife of every kind. And so it was. God made all sorts of wild animals and cattle and reptiles. And God was pleased with what he had done. Then God said, let us make a man, someone like ourselves, to be the master of all life upon the earth and in the skies and in the seas. So God made man like his maker. Like God did, God made man. Man and maid did he make them. And God blessed them and told them, multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. You are masters of the fish and birds and all the animals. And look, I have given you the seed-bearing plants throughout the earth and all the fruit trees for your food. And I've given all the grass and plants to the animals and birds for their food. Then God looked over all that he had made, and it was excellent in every way. This ended the 6th day. All right, that was Genesis 1. I'm going to go into Genesis 2 now. Now at the last, the heavens and earth were successfully completed with all they contained. So on the 7th day, having finished his task, God ceased from the work he had been doing. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because it was the day when he created this work of creation. Here is a summary of the events in the creation of the heavens and earth which the Lord God made. There was no plants or grain sprouting up across the earth at first, for the Lord God hadn't sent any rain, nor was there anyone to farm the soil. However, water wells up from the ground at certain places and flowed across the land. The time came when the Lord God formed a man's body from the dust of the ground and breathed into it the breath of life, and man became a living person. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden to the east and placed in the garden the man he had formed. The Lord God planted all sorts of beautiful trees there in the garden, trees producing the choicest of fruit. At the center of the garden, he placed the tree of life, and also the tree of consciousness, giving knowledge of good and bad. A river from the land of Eden flowed through the garden to water it. Afterwards, the river divided into 4 branches. One of these was named the Pishon. It winds across the entire length of the land of Havilah, where nuggets of pure gold are found. Also beautiful bdellium and even lapis lazuli. The second branch is called the Gihon, crossing the entire length of the earth, the entire length of the land of Cush. The third branch is the Tigris, which flows to the east of the city of Asher, and the fourth is the Euphrates. The Lord God placed the man in the Garden of Eden as its gardener to tend and care for it. But the Lord God gave the man this warning: you may eat any fruit in the garden except from the tree of consciousness, for its fruits will open your eyes to make you aware of right and wrong, good and bad. Oh, excuse me. Confirmation. If you eat its fruits, you will be doomed to die. And the Lord God said, it isn't good for man to be alone. I will make a companion for him, a helper suited to his needs. So the Lord God formed from the soil every kind of animal and bird and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever he called them, that was their name. But still there was no proper helper for the man. Then the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and took one of his ribs and closed up the place from which he had removed it, and made the rib into a woman, and brought her to the man. This is it, Adam exclaimed. He was hyped. She is part of my own bone and flesh. Her name is woman, because she was taken out of man. This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife in such a way that the two become one person. Now, although the man and his wife were both naked, neither of them was embarrassed or ashamed. All right, Genesis 3. The serpent was the craftiest of all the creatures the Lord God made. So the serpent came to the woman. Really, he asks, none of the fruit in the garden? God says you mustn't eat any of it? Of course we may eat it, the woman told him. It's only the fruit from the tree at the center of the garden that we are not to eat. God says we mustn't eat it or even touch it, or we will die. That's a lie, the serpent said. The serpent hissed, sorry. He's the liar. You will not die. God knows very well that the instant you eat it, you will become like him, for your eyes will be open. You will be able to distinguish good from evil. The woman was convinced how lovely and fresh looking it was, and it would make her so wise. So she ate some of the first and gave some to her husband, and he ate it too. That's not funny. Gotta protect your husbands. You can't be just opening them up to showing them any and everything. So they might not know no better. All right. And as they ate it, suddenly they became aware of their nakedness and were embarrassed. So they strung fig leaves together to cover themselves around the hips. That evening, they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden, and they hid themselves among the trees. The Lord God called to Adam, "Why are you hiding?" And Adam replied, "I heard you coming, and I didn't want you to see me naked, so I hid." "Who told you you was naked?" the Lord God asked. "Have you eaten fruit from the tree I warned you about?" "Yes," Adam admitted, "but it was the woman you gave me who brought me some, and I ate it." Then the Lord God asked the woman, "How could you do such a thing?" "The serpent tricked me," she replied. So the Lord God said to the serpent, "This is your punishment. You are singled out from among all the domestic and wild animals of the whole earth to be cursed. You shall gravel in the dust as long as you live, crawling along on your belly. From now on, you and the woman will be enemies, as will all of your offspring and hers. And I will put the fear of you into the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He shall strike you on your head, while you will strike at his heel." Then God said to the woman, "You shall bear children in intense pain of suffering, yet even so you shall welcome your husband's affections, and he shall be your master." And to Adam, God said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit when I told you not to, hey, I have placed a curse." I'll be back.